International Raceway, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Justin Davies to take control of the race.
But they can't get cocky. This is SRA, and anything can happen.
Our second place starter for today's race is none other than Michelle Rust. The third position belongs to Mark Guy. And we have liftoff. The race is now underway. This first sector will test the driver's skills and their ability to stay focused.
Staying out of trouble in these early moments is crucial. It's a fine line between pushing hard and staying safe.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Killarney International Raceway. This is going to be good to watch.
A great start to the race there from Melvin Gauss. That's really gonna put the cat among the pigeons.
Yeah, great start. Now Melvin Gauss just needs to keep it together and keep out of trouble.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage? There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. The tension is high. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing. Every move counts now as Jano van der Westhuizen works to reel in Ernest Heather and overtake for P6. The gap between Mark Guy in third and Michel Rust remains over a second, but Mark Guy is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 17 minutes? It looks like Mark Guy is making a move. The gap to Michel Rust is now down to 0.4 seconds.
That's a great effort from Mark Guy. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there. Things are heating up as JP Brand tries to close the gap to Ernest Heather. Oh, this is getting intense. Ernest Heather is just a few car lengths behind Jano van der Westhuizen.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Ernest Heather should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Jano van der Westhuizen.
It looks like Mark Guy is pushing hard to catch up to Michel Rust. The gap is over a second, but Mark Guy is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Michel Rust?
That's right. Mark Guy in third knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Michel Rust is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The gap between Hold up, breaking info. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Should things go south between Ernest Heather and JP Brand, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
An impressive showing from Ernest Heather, who has gained positions and left JP Brand in the dust. The gap between Ernest Heather and JP Brand is getting smaller. JP Brand is looking to take advantage of that arrow as they get in range of Ernest Heather. That's going to give them the pull they need to mount a challenge very soon.
Absolutely. Ernest Heather is really making that car as wide as possible, not giving JP Brand an inch of space. It's going to take something special for JP Brand to get past him.
Mark Guy is giving it their all as they chase down Michel Rust in P2. We got a close battle as JP Brand closes in on Ernest Heather. A great pass for JP Brand as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Ernest Heather has lost ground. It looks like we might get a battle between JP Brand and Ernest Heather. JP Brand has a battle on their hands now as they come through Continental with Ernest Heather hot on their tail. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Mark Guy needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
A strong showing from Justin Davies, who is currently first.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
It's a game of inches now as Mark Guy tails Michel Rust closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
If Mark Guy gets any closer, they might as well ask Michel Rust for a piggyback.
Hold on a moment. Looks like that's a mistake from Jano van der Westhuizen. This could be costly.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they'd been looking at a decent result.
Ernest Heather seems to be putting the pressure on JP Brand.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Looks like Michel Rust is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
Ernest Heather has the pedal to the metal chasing JP Brand. The gap between Ernest Heather and JP Brand is growing. It's now up to 0.2 seconds.
Can they get it together and reduce the gap?
Superb driving from Ernest Heather, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. This is going to be a nail-biter. Ernest Heather is defending for their life, but JP Brand is right there. Can they do it?
It's not over yet. JP Brand is right on Ernest Heather's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
JP Brand is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Justin Davies is placed first at the moment. It's all about consistency for Mark Guy, who is currently second. It's a battle of wills out there, with Michel Rust trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Mark Guy. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Indeed, the tension is high as Michel Rust tries to reel in Mark Guy. But Mark Guy is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Michel Rust find some extra pace to bring the fight to Mark Guy?
Hold on a second. Oh my, JP Brand has had an incident. Things don't seem to be going Michel Rust's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. A solid performance from Ernest Heather, who is holding down fourth. Well, it doesn't look like Jano van der Westhuizen is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Ernest Heather. It seems like Jano van der Westhuizen is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. Things are going according to plan for JP Brand, who is currently sixth.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and JP Brand has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
It's looking good for Chantal de Jager, sitting in seventh. Mark Guy is placed second at the moment. Excellent work from Mark Guy, who has managed to increase their lead over Michel Rust. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
It's clear that Mark Guy is dominating right now. They're making it very difficult for Michel Rust to catch up. The
race is heating up as Michel Rust in third closes in on Mark Guy. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Mark Guy is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Michel Rust in P3 doing everything they can to catch up.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Melvin Gauss, who is currently in P8. But Chantal de Jager is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Melvin Gauss.
This is where experience comes into play.
Hold on a moment. This is a disaster for COMENTATOR in the MK1_Golf_GTI_Chalingate coming into the pits and isn't going to do much to improve their chances in this race.
That's not where they want to be right now.
The tension is building as Chantal de Jager trails behind Melvin Gauss. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Melvin Gauss hold on, or will Chantal de Jager be able to close them down? Chantal de Jager is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Melvin Gauss at the moment. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Jano van der Westhuizen will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Jano van der Westhuizen is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Jano van der Westhuizen keep it together?
It may seem like Jano van der Westhuizen is far behind, but Ernest Heather can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Jano van der Westhuizen an opening to catch up. Hold on a second. I don't think that's the fastest way around Killarney International Raceway. The gap between Chantal de Jager and Mike Ramsey is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Chantal de Jager to even allow Mike Ramsey to get a look in. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Michel Rust as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
The gap between Jano van der Westhuizen in 5th and Ernest Heather remains over a second, but Jano van der Westhuizen is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that. Hold on a moment. Things don't look to be going COMENTATOR's way, as already they are into the pits.
That's going to be a big disappointment for them at this stage. Let's hope the team can regroup and make some sort of recovery.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Jano van der Westhuizen in 5th chases after Ernest Heather. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Jano van der Westhuizen find a way to catch up? A strong showing from Justin Davies, who is currently first. It's all about consistency for Mark Guy, who is currently second.
Definitely Mark, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Michel Rust trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Mark Guy. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Michel Rust close in enough to mount a challenge?
Absolutely. Michel Rust in 3rd will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
This is getting exciting. Can Jano van der Westhuizen pull off a late charge and gain a position? Jano van der Westhuizen is on a mission, chasing Ernest Heather, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Jano van der Westhuizen is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Ernest Heather to 0.3 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners. It's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Har ha, I bet they were. But things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely. It's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Jano van der Westhuizen is chasing Ernest Heather in P4. It's game on now. Jano van der Westhuizen has closed the gap to Ernest Heather. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. What a move. Jano van der Westhuizen has moved up to 4th. This is a thrilling moment in the race, with Jano van der Westhuizen in 4th defending their position with everything they've got. But Ernest Heather is relentless, and the gap is less than 0.1 seconds. It's anyone's position at this point.
Yeah, I really can't see them holding on to this place for much longer.
Tough break for Jano van der Westhuizen, who has just lost a position.
That's got to hurt. Jano van der Westhuizen will be kicking themselves right now.
Great driving from Jano van der Westhuizen, who has just gained a place and moved up to 4th.
That's what we like to see. Jano van der Westhuizen is really showing their class today.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Jano van der Westhuizen in 4th and Ernest Heather. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds. Look at this, Annie, what a shame for Jano van der Westhuizen. They've lost P4 to Ernest Heather, and that's got to hurt. The gap between Ernest Heather and Jano van der Westhuizen is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Ernest Heather to bring Jano van der Westhuizen into play. It's a battle of wills out there, with JP Brand trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with JP Brand in 6th determined to catch up. But we know Jano van der Westhuizen isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. JP Brand is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Even though JP Brand is a fair way behind Jano van der Westhuizen, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jano van der Westhuizen is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Absolutely right, Mark, and JP Brand knows that too. They have to keep driving at their best if they want to take advantage of any opportunity that comes their way.
Some great driving from Jano van der Westhuizen, who has increased their lead over JP Brand and is starting to put some distance between them. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for JP Brand, who is currently in P6. But Jano van der Westhuizen is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from JP Brand.
That's right. JP Brand in 6th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Jano van der Westhuizen is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
It looks like Jano van der Westhuizen is pushing hard to catch up to Ernest Heather. The gap is over a second, but Jano van der Westhuizen is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Ernest Heather?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Ernest Heather is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Jano van der Westhuizen in P5 doing everything they can to catch up.
And there it is. Justin Davies has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. What a drive from Mark Guy, securing a great second-place finish.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
Impressive drive from Michel Rust to claim the final spot on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
With Ernest Heather, Jano van der Westhuizen, JP Brand, and Chantal de Jager in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Hold on a second. Mike Ramsey has pulled into the pits. 8th seat breaking update. Mike Ramsey has decided to pit. International Raceway, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting in pole position gives Justin Davies a clear advantage over the rest of the field. Taking off from the second grid slot is the skilled driver, Mark Guy. We see Michelle Rust sitting in the third spot. The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. The green flag is waving and the race is on.
The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes on the track.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Killarney International Raceway, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
This is going to be one hell of a race, I can already feel it. The tension is high here, no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
Like gladiators, they enter Mark, but instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
It's a steady race for Michelle Rust so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus. Braking alert. Looks like Melvin Gauss is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty or have they picked up some damage during the start? Things don't seem to be going Mark Guy's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Mark Guy is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
The battle for 3 is heating up as Michelle Rust tries to catch Jano van der Westhuizen in P3.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, will Michelle Rust be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
Braking alert. That won't be ideal for Mike Ramsey.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 11 kph out there right now.
The race is heating up as Mike Ramsey in 9th closes in on Chantal de Jager. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. A brilliant maneuver from Mike Ramsey, who has just moved up the field. Things are heating up as Michelle Rust closes in on Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. It looks like Jano van der Westhuizen is pulling away from Michelle Rust. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Malmesbury Straight.
Michelle Rust needs to focus and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Jano van der Westhuizen.
Things are going according to plan for Justin Davies, who is currently first. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Michel Rust will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Indeed, the tension is high as Michel Rust tries to reel in Jano van der Westhuizen. But Jano van der Westhuizen is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Michel Rust find some extra pace to bring the fight to Jano van der Westhuizen?
The pursuit is on. Chantal de Jager is closing the gap on Mike Ramsey, determined to claim P7.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Chantal de Jager needs to stay patient and wait for Mike Ramsey to make a mistake.
It seems like Chantal de Jager is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can Chantal de Jager keep it together?
As a former racing driver, Annie, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Mark. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Michel Rust in third chases after Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Michel Rust find a way to catch up?
It's going to be tough for Michel Rust, as Jano van der Westhuizen seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Michel Rust pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
It's not looking good for Michel Rust. They're still behind Jano van der Westhuizen and the gap is increasing. They're gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Mark Guy trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on JP Brand. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Mark Guy close in enough to mount a challenge? Fantastic move from Mark Guy, who has just gained a position.
Absolutely. Mark Guy is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
I'm sure Mark Guy in fifth is starting to notice JP Brand is right on their tail, and is still closing that gap. Can they hold onto their position? It's true what they say, Annie, you're never completely useless.
Indeed, Mark, you can always be used as a bad example.
It's going to be tough. JP Brand is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Mark Guy to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position.
JP Brand is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Mark Guy is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
Oh, it seems, Annie, that JP Brand has seen their lead over Mark Guy shrink to 0.2 seconds.
They need to step up their game and start pulling away again.
And JP Brand is having to make that VW_Polo_GTi_Chalingay as wide as possible to try and keep Mark Guy behind them. The tension is building as Michel Rust trails behind Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Jano van der Westhuizen hold on, or will Michel Rust be able to close them down? It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Mark Guy needs to get more consistent. Annie, they have just put in a slower lap than JP Brand. And Mark Guy has just won the place from JP Brand.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
Mark Guy is in 5th, and is being closely chased by JP Brand, who is just 0.2 seconds behind.
It's a close race as we can see, and Mark Guy is doing a great job defending their position. Will JP Brand be able to squeeze through?
Mark Guy has just dropped the ball. JP Brand didn't waste any time taking advantage of that.
That's some bad luck for Mark Guy, they just couldn't hold on. But can they make a comeback?
This is a thrilling battle as Michel Rust edges closer to Jano van der Westhuizen in their fight for P2. A solid performance from Justin Davies, who is holding down first. The gap between Ernest Heather in 4th and Michel Rust remains over a second, but Ernest Heather is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 9 minutes?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Ernest Heather in 4th determined to catch up. But we know Michel Rust isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Ernest Heather is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
It's an intense battle for position as Michel Rust tries to outmaneuver Jano van der Westhuizen. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
Mark Guy is running 6th. They're trying to catch JP Brand. While it doesn't look like Mike Ramsey is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Chantal de Jager. Chantal de Jager is placed 7th at the moment. No room for error here. Michel Rust is breathing down the neck of Jano van der Westhuizen, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Michel Rust gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
A great moment for Michel Rust, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Yes, Michel Rust is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Disappointing for Michel Rust, they now find themselves in 3rd. The intensity is off the charts as Michel Rust hounds Jano van der Westhuizen, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
It's a tense battle for position between Jano van der Westhuizen in 2nd and Michel Rust in 3. Jano van der Westhuizen is keeping Michel Rust at bay with a gap of 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, Michel Rust is likely going to be sniffing up the inside of Jano van der Westhuizen as they come into Castrol.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Mark Guy, who is currently in P6. But JP Brand is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Mark Guy. Look at that, Michel Rust is hot on the tail of Jano van der Westhuizen.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
Big gains for Michel Rust as they move up the field, leaving Jano van der Westhuizen behind.
Absolutely. Michel Rust is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Oh, this is getting intense. Mark Guy is just behind JP Brand.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It looks like Ernest Heather is pushing hard to catch up to Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is over a second, but Ernest Heather is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Jano van der Westhuizen?
Absolutely. Ernest Heather in fourth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The pressure is really on for Jano van der Westhuizen in second as Michel Rust is closing in. This is where experience and skill really count.
Jano van der Westhuizen needs to get the lead out mark, otherwise their backside is gonna look like the Japanese flag come the morning.
Oh my, Jano van der Westhuizen has dropped down to third.
Sucks to be them, Mark.
Every move counts now as Michel Rust works to reel in Jano van der Westhuizen and overtake for P2. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The gap between JP Brand and Mark Guy is widening. It's now up to 0.4 seconds.
This is where the mental toughness of JP Brand comes into play. They need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way.
A strong showing from Justin Davies, who is currently first. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
It's a battle for position as JP Brand tries to make a move on Mark Guy. This is what racing is all about.
Superb driving from JP Brand, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
JP Brand is looking for an opportunity to get round Mark Guy. Great driving from JP Brand, who has just gained a place and moved up to fifth. The race is really heating up. Michel Rust is hunting down Jano van der Westhuizen with everything they've got.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds. Can Michel Rust close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Mark Guy is closing in on JP Brand.
It's a game of strategy now as Mark Guy hunts down JP Brand. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
A brilliant maneuver from Mark Guy, who has just moved up the field. A tough moment for Mark Guy, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to sixth. Things are getting spicy now, as Mark Guy and JP Brand look to battle it out for fifth place. Impressive driving from Mark Guy, who has managed to extend their lead over JP Brand. They are walking away at this point. Does JP Brand have anything in reserve? Things are heating up as Michelle Rust tries to close the gap to Jano van der Westhuizen.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Michelle Rust is really walking that tightrope.
JP Brand is giving it their all as they chase down Mark Guy in P5. Ernest Heather has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Michelle Rust. I expect their only hope at this point is that Michelle Rust makes an error.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
JP Brand could be looking for a way up the inside of Mark Guy. Looks like Jano van der Westhuizen is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. Can Jano van der Westhuizen close the 0.3 second gap and make a pass?
It's looking good for Justin Davies, sitting in first. Michelle Rust is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Jano van der Westhuizen, who is 0.4 seconds behind. The race is heating up as Ernest Heather in fourth closes in on Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. But pressure is on for Jano van der Westhuizen as they try to catch up to Michelle Rust.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Jano van der Westhuizen needs to be careful not to overdo it.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. JP Brand will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Mark Guy is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with JP Brand in P6 doing everything they can to catch up.
Good news for JP Brand, the gap to Mark Guy has decreased. It's now down to 0.2 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
This is what it's all about, folks. Jano van der Westhuizen is in hot pursuit of Michelle Rust, who's just trying to stay ahead.
That's right, Jano van der Westhuizen is determined to pass Michelle Rust and secure a higher position.
Michelle Rust is on. What a win! This is a historic moment for Justin Davies, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision.
What a result for Justin Davies. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. They really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Impressive second place finish for Michelle Rust. Excellent focus from Jano van der Westhuizen to secure a fantastic third place on the podium. Coming in fourth, fifth, and sixth we have Ernest Heather, Mark Guy, and JP Brand. Chantal de Jager brings home seventh. Mike Ramsey claim 8th.